Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Now you would think after the last couple of months and Hollywood basically being on their knees at the moment, you would think that everyone would behave as accordingly and probably try not to put the general viewing public off seeing any of their properties. But it just seems that people in Hollywood cannot keep their mouths shut when it turns to politics. Instead of saying nothing and holding their own opinions to themselves, they decide to make ludicrous statements like these that we'll see in this article, and in fact, it just turns people off. For me, I loved the first Wonder Woman movie because Patty Jenkins was all about inclusivity and that nobody was needed as a crutch, or there was nobody needed that needed to be stepped on for Wonder Woman, for Diana Prince to look good. Well, it seems that this film is certainly going off the reservation, and it's in massive trouble in my opinion, with some of the casting choices that were made, particularly the Kristen Wiig one as Cheetah, which has raised many an eyebrow in terms of the ability of the character to be portrayed correctly as they were in media and in comics. Not only that, but that woman was involved in the Ghostbusters 2016 fiasco that also had no problem with abusing fans. So you already have a camp of individuals there that are thinking, I'm not going to see that anyway, we're hoarding it. And now we come to this absolute nonsense. These people really need to learn their place, which is to entertain and not to be standing out on the podiums telling people what they think. It's madness. So report, Wonder Woman 1984 will feature parallels between Donald Trump and villain Maxwell Lord. The main enemy is capitalism. So in an industry that's looking to earn money off the success of these monies, or off the monies of these films, they're now telling you that capitalism is bad. This is incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. And what's the opposite of capitalism? And I tell you what, those people wouldn't be involved in that. They're happy to be sitting in their mansions, egging people on, the likes of the looting and the riots that have been happening. But now some of these individuals are deciding to get out of Dodge after it's gotten too much for them. It's very funny stuff, and these people are just hypocrites and absolutely ridiculous. A new report details that director Patty Jenkins and actress Gal Gadot's upcoming Wonder Woman 1984 film will feature parallels between Donald Trump and villain Maxwell Lord, and that the main villain of the film is actually capitalism. This is incredible stuff, and for a movie and a character and an actress that's pretty much well liked, to go and say things like this, it's very demeaning and it's totally bringing it down. For me now, it's a hard pass. So it says the 80s. And credit to Bounding and the comics for this article. This is a great article. Speaking with Collider on a visit to the film's set, Jenkins compared the film's time period to the current day, claiming that the United States is paying the price for the sins of the 80s. Jenkins told Collider, it was particularly in the 80s because of the fact that that was the height of everything we're now paying the price for. What are you talking about? The cinema industry, the theatre industry was at an all-time high, but because you weirdos decided to go SJW and woke, it's lost a fortune, and rightly so. If you're going to pander to one side, expect the other side to say, no thanks, we're not going to go there. Again, I'm going to bring it back to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, when he decided to put out his shoes, he was asked to endorse a Democratic nominee, given the fact that because that guy was black, and that was it. That's the only reason why they wanted him to endorse him. Michael Jordan said, Republicans buy sneakers too. Michael Jordan, whatever his political affiliations, and particularly, I don't care, was a wise businessman. He understood money, and he said, no, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to say nothing on one side or the other. Best thing to do. His shoe, his brand is one of the best selling in the world, and it's still selling to this day. Fantastic from Michael Jordan. But now you have these nutbags saying this type of stuff. This is incredible. So she continues, so Patty Jenkins continues, it was like we thought for sure it could go on forever and there was going to be no price and you could just have exponential growth. This is unbelievable stuff. Then it could keep going and all of this excess. And so I think in that way we're talking about then, and we're also talking about right now. We're talking about what we're dealing with right now because that struggle is very much alive in our own psyche. No, it's not. I mean, people want to be. Capitalism is the idea of self-made. You're trying to work as hard as you can and provide a good life for not only you but your family and then subsequent generations of your family. This is unbelievable stuff. These people haven't been to other countries that are living under serious regimes that have big problems, in my opinion. The film's associate producer, Anna Abrupta, would hint at why they chose the year 1984 for the film's title. She notes that it was at the peak of America's power and its pride. She continued, "It was everything: commercialism, passion, wealth, even violence was in excess. It was a decade of greed and desire." Abrupta, that's a that's a mad name, would add it would add, "It was humanity at its best and at its worst." When asked whether it referred to George Orwell's famous novel, producer Charles Roven responded, "We should have that conversation after you've seen the film." I don't think there's going to be many people seeing the film now with this, and I'm definitely passing on it, so I don't really care now at this stage. And it's a pity because I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I liked the first movie. I loved her in BVS. The part that she had in Justice League and Justice League was okay, but again, she's part of the Trinity. She's an important character, and it's unfortunate to see this SJW woke weirdness going into the movies. It's been in the comics for a while, and that's why DC is shutting down basically its publishing arm and firing people left, right, and centre. So it's going to happen with these movies soon. And AT&T, I don't think, are going to justify paying these weirdos their money. Wonder Woman 1984 villains. Collider's Nick Romano would then go on to report that the real enemy of the film is capitalism. He writes, "Who's the villain of this next chapter? Well, there are multiple antagonists, but the real enemy, one might argue, is capitalism." What is it with individuals and having a problem with capitalism? They do know that they live in a capitalist society, don't they? I mean, again, like I said, you can go to societies that are not capitalist and see how long you get on and how much you enjoy it over there. I would highly doubt that you would enjoy it for long. As for the villains outside of capitalism, if it hasn't been obvious before, they are Maxwell Lord, played by the Mandalorian's Pedro Pascal. I think he was very miscast as the Mandalorian, in my opinion. I loved the first season. I liked the fact he was there. To me, I would have done Scott Eastwood as the Mandalorian. He would have been the man for me. If they were looking to do Clint Eastwood in a Star Wars Mandalorian suit, who better to get than his son? But again, Pedro Pascal, he done a good job in my opinion. He was okay. And Cheetah, played by Kristen Wiig, wrongly cast, I think, in my opinion. I would have loved to see someone like, say, Michelle Rodriguez or something like that, maybe, or someone else that might have been younger, more athletic, I suppose. Romano described Pascal's Lord as the king of phony infomercials. I mean, it doesn't get any more clear who they're trying to take off with this, does it? You know, Orange Man bad and all that. Orange background and everything. It's not even subtle. Romano described Pascal's Lord as the king of phony infomercials. If people are chasing after dreams of wealth, power, and fame, then Max is selling those dreams. Associate producer Anna Abrupta describes his character as a desperate, self-obsessed, fraudulent entrepreneur who runs a business selling the American dream. As for Barbara Minerva, also known as Cheetah, Romano explains she is beguiled by this illusion and eventually corrupted by it. He later adds that she falls victim to one of Max's schemes. Abrupta details a first look. It is a dream come true. She adds that she feels physically stronger. Really? When you look at Kristen Wiig, I don't think so. She feels more seen and respected. I mean, even, and as much as I don't like her, Ronda Rousey, like, that's an individual that could at least show. Even better, Gina Carano. That would have been the choice maybe for Cheetah. A woman who can fight, a woman who looks strong, a woman who was very easy on the eye. That might have been a better choice, I think, in my opinion, than this one. She feels more seen and respected in the world, but her power takes a very fast, very dark turn as she transforms into this vicious and savage creature, like nothing we could have ever imagined. Now, if anybody's seen the promotional material for Cheetah, it looks awful. It really does. It looks like Cats. Not a film Cats that bombed there. That's what it looks like. It's not good, in my opinion. It's not a great design, in spite of it being a character that has some great designs throughout the years. As for Diana's reaction to this, Gadot explains that she sees all the bad things that are there being done in order to get to the top. I think she doesn't like that so much. The price that people are willing to pay in order to achieve whatever it is they want to achieve. Well, you don't have to look too far in Hollywood to see that. But other than this, I think Diana loves the 80s. Grey hair, she's rocking the hair and styles. It's great. Interestingly enough, Romano would describe these bad things as greed, providing evidence that his initial description of the film's villain as capitalism in actuality is greed, two different concepts. Donald Trump and Maxwell Lord. So again, another his wig and all as well too, very easy to see. Romano would then detail that the film will have parallels to Donald Trump through the character of Maxwell Lord. He makes this connection while referencing a meeting with the film's costume designer, Lindy Hemming. So this guy is not just pulling the stuff out of the air, he's actually talking to people within the industry. And this individual here, speaking out, a costume designer making these stupid claims, and this is what is effectively going to turn people off the movie. He writes, expect parallels between Max and Trump, photos of the fired reality TV star, with a trail of bankruptcy filings adorn costume designer Lindy Hemming's workspace. Well, should you not have any respect and say your president, the guy that's looking after your nation, the guy that is very interested in American uh, interests? He's also brokering peace in the Middle East. He's also getting involved in helping other nations when they were down. He was one of the first individuals to say that he would help out Beirut. But that doesn't go with your narrative, does it, pal? He wouldn't have the stones to say it to his face either. And the fact that this individual like Lindy Hemming is saying these things and getting involved and giving you these sort of illusions is disgusting, is despicable. And I cannot wait for individuals like you to be gone from Hollywood. And Collider shilling for this SJW woke narrative is no surprise. They're a shill site and a joke. Hemming also notes that the parallel exists. So this is an individual within the production. So this doesn't just come out of thin air. This is coming from other people and maybe even Jenkins herself, which is very, very problematic, I suppose, to use their own term against them. She tells Romano that Lord's costumes are inspired by Trump. She then adds, well, that's helpful to look at, isn't it? There is something about the period of Donald Trump and being a businessman. This is a president of being rather sleazy a little bit and a bit goofy and a lot of talk. I'm sure that this individual is probably an individual that's backed Joe Biden. I'm sure it's an individual that probably backed Bill Clinton in the past. You know what I'm saying? So how dare she say things like this? This is unbelievable stuff. And they're getting away with it. Not anymore. I don't think anymore. This is going to be it. So that's why he's there. There's more, but I ought to just... Romano claims she doesn't finish her sentence. So obviously she said something that was fairly cataclysmic and decided not to put it in the piece. It's a pity that he didn't have the stones to put it in, because I'd have loved to see what was said, and this would have blown up far bigger than it did. What do you make of this report from Collider regarding Wonder Woman 1984 and its parallels with Donald Trump? Well, the thing is that they thought that this election was going to go one way, it went the other, and they decided to screech about it and about it for 4 years. It's infected the entertainment industry heavily. We've seen Westworld season 3 succumb to it. We've seen Witcher season 1, which had a lot of woke elements. It had a lot of feminism, third wave feminism within it, and we're seeing it with other projects as well too that have come out over the last number of years, the likes of Captain Marvel, Star Wars, Doctor Who, franchises that have been ruined by this third wave feminism and the inability to write good characters and good story. So again, this looks like a movie that doesn't look like it has much story going for it. There's been plenty of leaks that have come out about the movie previously, and it's going to be an easy pass, I think, in my opinion. And that's just going to be the way it is. You've had people on Twitter saying that Ares was a great villain in the first movie. He wasn't. You have people saying that there's going to be Cheetah is going to be the best movie villain of the DCU. I don't think so. What do you make of capitalism being the villain of the film? Well, what I make of the capitalism being the villain of the film is that these people have no idea of their own sort of self-interest, in that they are working in an industry that is supposed to be capitalist. They're supposed to make as much money as possible, but yet they seem to be hell-bent on this kind of idea of saying, oh well, we're all in it together. No, we're not. People, movie stars that are urging on this BLM stuff, this rioting, this nonsense that's happening, these are the same individuals that live in gated communities, that they live with security, that they will not grief fans for a specific amount of time. These are people that are going to try and preach to the masses about how the masses should behave. And I mean, you shouldn't be casting stones within a glass house. It's something that I was always told. So it's a bad idea. For me, that this film now is finished, it's over with. I've no interest in seeing it. I'll go and see the Snyder Cut if that comes out, or obviously if it's going to HBO Max, I'll watch it. But Wonder Woman now can forget about it. In my opinion, if it's gonna go that heavy that way and it's going to try and be another movie of man bad, no thanks. I'm passing on it, and that's me. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Make sure you like the video, make sure you share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel out. Leave a comment below. Always interested to see what thoughts of the community are on these type of things. This is going to be the end of Hollywood. I think Hollywood cannot sustain this kind of behaviour for much longer. The beer bug was the end of this woke SJW culture, and if studios want to keep going down this road of doing this, they're going to find themselves in the same way that DC Comics found themselves, in that they're going to have to shut down divisions, they're going to have to fire people, they're going to have to lay off people, and people's names will be tainted with this sort of behaviour from now on. Like Lindy Hemming is a name that I will remember now, so if she's involved in anything, I'm going to watch for this stuff now. Same with Patty Jenkins. Should I be watching for stuff now with Patty Jenkins? So this is what this all throws up now. It makes me, it turns me off, and it just says, well, I've plenty of old material to look at that I enjoy, that had none of this nonsense, and I can survive on that, no problem. Gonna leave it there. Good luck.